Help support our coverage using Blueberry, the community that gives creators the ability to make money, get detailed audience measurements, and host their audio and video. Get 30 days to try out the service using promo code BLUBRRY004.
Our next guest is here. Hello.
Hi there.
How are you doing today?
So far, so good.
That's good. Go ahead and introduce yourself for me.
All right, absolutely. So my name is Chris. I'm one of the co-founders at Hypergate. We are a Swiss software development company working for and with large enterprises within the cybersecurity field.
Okay, interesting. So what kind of things do you do in that space?
Well, we have multiple products. The initial idea, actually, maybe I'll go a little bit backwards. So
Sure.
the way that it started is a lot of startups, even in cybersecurity space, are looking to work with startups similar to them or very agile companies where change is needed and kind of industries need to be disrupted, right? So we're talking AI, we're talking blockchain,
Sure.
Web3, etc. Now, what all of that does is it kind of forgets about the fundamental industry where most of the people are actually working at, which is large enterprises, government entities, etc. Right? We might look at it and say, hey, they have legacy setups which might not be too appealing, but still, this is what most of us in reality work with. So we found that there were some really large gaping holes there with regards to authentication in specifically. So nowadays, obviously, everyone has their own mobile devices that are managed by the company or the government entity, but the experience that you have on a mobile device is very, very different than what people are used to having on their laptops and Windows PCs. So with the switch to having employees also having mobile phones, what they were missing is how to authenticate the users without the hassle of passwords, usernames, changing passwords, forgetting stuff, etc. And at scale, that really becomes a big problem.
Yeah.
Now, if you're looking at an SMB and there's 20 employees there, it's fine, right? Someone forgets their password once a month, it's all right. But once it gets to the...
I just go in and change it manually.
Exactly. But at a company that has 60,000 employees, there's a specific department that's going to work with you to reset your passwords, etc., etc. Now, what we've built is
and there's a big, long process involved in it.
There's a big, long process.
You got to do this, and you got to do that.
Exactly.
You got to be able to verify that you're you.
Yes.
I know that Adam's Adam.
Yes.
So I can change his password. I'm all set. But in in Microsoft, the IT department doesn't know.
There's multiple Adams there.
All the engineers, exactly.
Yes. And the issue that exists there is, so first of all, of course, you need to have specific workforce to kind of fix those problems and issues. And on the other hand, whenever those issues arise, there is considerable downtime for the employees that are not able to work in the meantime.
Right.
So the thing that we've built is it's a software that sits on your mobile device. It's there's no cloud connection, which is the magic thing there.
Okay.
So it connects directly your mobile device to your on-premises Active Directory that stores your credentials by default already, right? And the way that it works is you authenticate yourself once, which is the first time you would receive your new mobile device from the company, and that's it. Now that phone will be able to connect directly from the phone with no cloud connection through a VPN tunnel to your on-premises AD, get the info that this is you, and then authenticate you for all of your work profiles, etc.
Okay. A little bit like setting up the setup process sounds a little bit like setting up a new account on an authenticator.
Yes,
right?
exactly. Exactly.
You do the initial setup. Once you've got that, you never have to go back. All of the stuff is a direct connection.
Exactly.
From there. Okay.
And there is kind of like, this might sound as like an easy problem to solve on the surface. So obviously everyone knows that there's Microsoft Authenticator, there's Google Authenticator, etc. So things are available, but all of them need to have one key component in your setup, which is a cloud storage.
Right.
So that means your kind of credentials need to be stored in the cloud, which again, for a company of 20 people, completely fine. If you're talking to DoD, that's just impossible, right? It's illegally forbidden to have it in the cloud.
Yeah.
So again, all of the startups, what we
best
felt...
case, you have to have the Azure government
Yeah, like a private cloud. Private cloud, yes, exactly. Private cloud is still fine. Private cloud works for us. But again, public cloud, this is a completely separate and different approach, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, and what we felt really is startups don't think about that tech at all. What they're trying to do is they're trying to introduce a lot of completely new disruptive tech that might catch on and might not catch on, but is mostly driven by hype and future dreams, right?
No.
Yes.
You haven't at all described the entire first floor of this building.
Yeah, that's Eureka Park for you.
Yeah.
But what people are forgetting is that there is business to be done today, right?
Right.
And having a mobile phone that you work on that's old news, right? This is mid-2000s.
Right.
So yeah, and there was this one missing component that kind of no one had thought about before, and we jumped on that niche and were able to be kind of successful.
That's really cool. So this is specifically targeted at large businesses?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So we're not your target demo.
No, not really.
But some of the other companies that are up here
Yes.
on the floor with us might be.
Absolutely.
Because there are some fairly large companies up here.
Absolutely, yes.
And so this implementation process,
Yep.
how complicated is that for the IT
Right.
team?
So the thing
It
is,
sounds like it's easy for the
Yes.
end user.
Yes.
It's Microsoft Authenticator,
Yes.
it's Google Authenticator. The actual process to set up is easy
Very
for them.
similar, yes.
What does it look like on the other end?
For the IT team, the integration is usually about 30 minutes.
Oh,
so
wow.
we do one setup call, and it's go live time.
Whew.
That's it.
Rock on.
And the interesting part is because it's a client-only application, meaning it just sits on your phone, there's no outside connection. The interesting part there is it doesn't really matter how big the rollout is. It's just that it's interesting for large companies, but it really doesn't matter if it's 1,000 users or 100,000 users.
Okay.
It's still just a push of a button away. If you have set up your connections correctly, it's just going to connect your phones. It doesn't matter 1,000, 10,000 of them to the AD, get the credentials from there, and it's go time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So pretty easy implementation.
Again, it's kind of like nothing revolutionary. Right, so essentially what we're doing is we've taken the legacy tech that we've all been using for years on our laptops and Windows computers. So this is nothing like revolutionary, but it's
Okay.
just that no one had ever thought about putting this on Androids and
phone.
iOS devices.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's where we come in. Yeah.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
So for companies that want more information about this, how can they get it?
So companies that want more information about this, so you can always visit hypergate.com. You can get in touch with us. Even though we are a Swiss company, obviously we're mostly English-speaking anyways, and we do have US-based resellers and distributors all over the country. So yeah, information is readily available. Free trial licenses are also available. You can have it for a month, have it for a couple of months, test it out, install it, see how it works in your environment, and yeah, get in touch.
Put together a user base for testing it out and figure out what works for you.
Absolutely.
Okay. Very cool. And what kind of cost are we looking at on this? Does it depend on the number of activated users?
Exactly. It's depending on the number of users. Yeah. I mean, it's comparably, it's going to be much less than, let's say, your mobile device management software.
Okay.
But it would still depend on the amount of users.
Sure.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yep.
And it works with Microsoft AD.
Exactly. Yeah.
Does it only work with the Microsoft AD?
Nope.
Okay. I figured it probably had other options.
No,
as
it's
well.
it's fully open-ended. Yeah. I mean, it's again, it's I mean, it's in the name, right? It's just a gateway on how to connect. And the beautiful thing is, it's working in the background. You do not need to interact with the software, right? It's just sitting on your phone, to which it's been pushed by the IT manager, right? It doesn't require you to go to the Apple Store and install it, right? And yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
There we go.
All right.
Interesting, right?
Yeah, for sure. Very interesting.
Yeah.
My day job is in a very large company that...
There we go. You might be one of our customers.
Could be.
Could be.
Well, thank you so much for coming up and
Absolutely,
talking to me.
yeah.
Very interesting technology.
Thank you as well. Thanks, everyone.
Have a good rest of the show.
Thank you. Take care.
The Tech Podcast Network's CES 2025 coverage is executive produced by Adam Barker. Technical director is Kirk Corliss. Associate producers are Nancy Ertz, Tracy Ingram, Xerxes Goddard, Brandy Jackson, and Aviva Cram. Voiceover by Aaron Hurst. Our hosts are Marlo Anderson, Don Bain, and Scott Ertz. Studio and equipment are provided by PLUGHITZ Productions. The TPN studio executive is Todd Cochran. This has been a Tech Podcast Network production, copyright 2025.